This afternoon, big news when it comes to school testing in South Florida. Students who did not make the grade in math can still advance to the next grade. CBS 4's Gary Nelson just spoke with the superintendent in Miami-Dade about the decision. What do you have to say, Gary?
Well, I tell you what, he's just disgusted, as he has been, with all of this statewide testing that's been going on. Now, here is the latest news. You know those Florida assessment tests, the computerized exams that were given to all grades? Well, the ones that were administered to third graders are not going to count against their being promoted this year. Why? They were so problem-plagued and so late in being administered. And in addition to that, lots of end-of-course, specific course exams that were administered also will not count this year. 80,000 Miami-Dade students, hundreds of thousands statewide, have reason to breathe a sigh of relief today. The State Department of Education has conceded it did not properly evaluate mandated end-of-course exams in Algebra 1, 2, and Biology. As a result, the tests will not be used to determine if a student is promoted or graduates.
The state has gone too far too fast regarding the accountability and the deployment of this very new assessment, and I think we're seeing the consequences of that.
The botched evaluations for the end-of-course algebra and biology exams follow a disastrous rollout for the computerized Florida standardized assessment tests that saw software meltdowns, days of delay, kids just sitting around.
And they should have used this year as an experimental year, but they decided to move ahead in a way that would see the experimental year, the so-called baseline development year, as a true assessment year, and that was a mistake.
For students, this has been a year of lost instruction time amid a flawed system that will grade them, their schools, and teachers.
If you get locked out multiple times, you eventually have to restart your test, and you'll spend like an entire day in there, and you miss out like on all the stuff you're doing in your regular classes.
Some good news: lawmakers allowed school districts to eliminate scores of required end-of-year tests. Miami-Dade alone got rid of 300. Yes, 300 time-consuming and, in the district's view, unnecessary exams. And you can bet the backlash from parents, administrators, and teachers is far from over as Florida continues to struggle with the business of trying to administer and grade tests. We're live in Miami. Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.